Welcome to Ignite and welcome to the Partner Masters. I'm going to walk you through 10 Partner Center hacks every Microsoft partner should know. We're going to talk about solution designations and specializations, how you can easily manage and optimize these. We're going to talk about your skilling and the certifications and how you can make sure that none of these fall through the cracks and it doesn't force you to lose out on your solution designations. We're going to talk about security ACR and how you know which customers you can actually get to a next level in consuming Azure with security. We're going to look through EMS and Microsoft 365 workloads and how much utilization is happening. We're going to look at your payouts from Microsoft along with the co-op and incentive programs and how do you make sense of how much money Microsoft has paid you and for what. Then we're going to find how you can go get tenant IDs to do a CPOR claim in literally seconds instead of having to take 5 to 10 minutes to figure this out. And then lastly, we'll look at how do I manage and optimize the internal use rights that Microsoft has given me. So let's dive in. I'm going to bring up what we call our Partner Command Center from the Partner Masters. Now, what we've done with the Partner Command Center is we've built out an entire repository of learning and reporting to help make your job easier as a Microsoft partner. Our mission is to empower every Microsoft partner to achieve maximum profitability. So let's go. Let me show you some of the reports that we have in here. So first, I'm going to open up the earnings and incentive reports. And if you've pulled down some of these reports in the past, you know that you have to download 2 separate reports, one for earnings and one for incentives, and sometimes that can be a lot. So what we've done is we've made this report available to you so that you can come in and you can see at a glance everything that you've done in the last 3 fiscal years with Microsoft. Now from here, it's Power BI, so you can slice and dice this data however you like. If you want to look at what you did in FY25H1, you can slice this here. If you want to see how much did I do for Azure Innovate, you can see that here. And we can even slice and dice this from many different areas, even to see what payments did I receive. When I was a PDM at Microsoft, one of the things I often heard was, hey, we got this $8,209 check and I have no idea what it's for. Well, now because we've pulled all these programs together, we can actually see that this was for the GL5062 Copilot for Microsoft 365 program. And I can even open this up and see that it was for Foster Lopez as the customer. So then we can see, well, what payments can I expect? Well, here are the payments that we're expecting in the given periods, which customers it's for, when it's expected to be paid, so forth and so on. I can even see if I just want to look at my rebates, what rebates am I earning in what period. I can even look at what am I earning for CSP as backend rebates by month. And again, we can even drill down even to the customer. Now with Azure Accelerate claims, Microsoft has over $3 million on the table for every partner this year. And so we've got to find out how much are we actually going in and grabbing. So here we can see how much we're claiming. Again, we can see for the different programs, and then we can even see to each customer of how much money we've claimed. So there's a lot going on here inside of this report for earnings and incentives. But then let's go take a look at, we said solution designations and specializations. So we're going to go to our skilling report. In the skilling report, what we're going to look at is first, what do we have holistically as the different programs? How many points do we have? And how are we going to maintain this? So I'm going to start and I'm going to go to the infrastructure tab just to give you an example of pulling all the data into one report so we can see everything at a glance. So on this particular report, we can see our points. We can see all of the people and the certifications that we have. We can see the certifications that count for this particular certification and solution designation. And what I can even see here is the black is what we have in points. The blue is what is hypothetical. On the right-hand side, I can even filter this and say, well, what if Alice leaves my company? Well, if Alice leaves my company, my points just changed from 76 to 64. Now I'm below the 70-point threshold and I'm in trouble. I'm not going to be able to renew my solution designation. So what I can do here is I can actually come in and I can just click on Alice to find out what the heck does Alice have? Well, Alice has the AZ104. The AZ104 is the prerequisite for you to get all of your other points. So we've got to make sure that we have some redundancy in this AZ104 exam. So I need to make sure that somebody else has this exam also. Now, when it comes to certifications, Microsoft requires you to go in and take an annual assessment to renew your certifications. And what happens many times is the the people own these exams themselves personally. They associate with a Microsoft partner. So what happens is these renewals will go to a personal email address, and a lot of times they'll get lost. So what we've done is we've built in, using Power Automate, some automation to say, hey, well, let's go ahead and actually send this report. Well, we can actually see it at a glance. We'll actually send an email to the professional email address, to the partner email address, so they know that that's coming. You can also, as the alliance person, also get an email, because you need to know that these people are on top of getting their renewals for their certifications as well. So we've built this out here so you can see the different people, you can see their certifications when they expire, and so you can help manage these different certifications on your team to help make sure that you're not going to drop any solution designations or specializations. Then if we continue to move forward, we're going to look at the security ACR. So in this particular report, Microsoft states that a customer should spend around 8% on security when they're spending money on Azure. So if we look at this report, we can see the total amount that a customer is spending and then how much they're spending specifically on ACR. So if I look at this top customer, I can see that this customer is spending $111,000 per month, but only $149 on security. Well, if I come over here, I can actually see what they're spending their money on, and I can see that they're spending quite a bit of money on analytics and databases, and so they should probably be securing this. So now I know that I have opportunities that I can go talk to these customers and say, hey, we need to make sure that you're securing your data. We need to make sure that you're securing your Azure tenant. Now, maybe they're doing it with third party, but this is a way for you to go talk to them about Defender for Cloud, Sentinel. Let's manage and let's make sure that you are secure even with your data in Azure. So we can look at this. We can even see on this slide, well, if you were to go talk to these customers and if you were to upgrade them to get to the 8% delta, even how much money are you going to make with CSP sales if you were to sell them through CSP? So we even added that extra layer. Then let's take a look. We mentioned Microsoft 365 and EMS. So with Microsoft 365, I can come in here and I can actually look at my customers, whatever type of attachment I have. I could have delegated admin, I can just have CSP sales, I can have CPOR, whatever it might be. I have all of my customers listed in here, and I can see how many licenses have they paid for by workload, and I can see how many they're using and the difference. So if I can even sort this and look to see, okay, so some of these customers are pretty large, and what are they actually using? This particular case, this customer has Teams Phone. They've got 2,700 licenses of Teams Phone, but they're only using 609. So they've got 2,000 licenses that they're paying for that Teams Phone, and they're not using it. So we should probably go talk to this customer. Now, even in this report, we can even come in here and we can take a look at, well, who are those Teams Phones customers that we have? So we can now go build an entire campaign and know who in our customer base should we be talking to about this. So we can go to any of the Microsoft 365 workloads, even if I wanted to come in here and look at SharePoint. Well, let's look at SharePoint. Where's my opportunity here? We've got quite a few customers that have a big delta in what they bought and what they're using. Similar type of report that we've built for EMS. So the different workloads in EMS across the security workloads, we're going to take a look and see who are using those security workloads, and then how can we build campaigns to go talk to them. So very similar across the board here. We can see our customers of what they've paid, what the difference is of what they're using. And we can see this particular customer here, they've got 23,000 licenses of Entra ID Premium, 13,000 of Defender for Identity, and they're not really using it. We should probably create a campaign and go talk to those customers. We can go down to any one of these customers and see who's using what. Here's a customer that has Defender for Cloud Apps, Defender for Identity, and Purview, and they're not using any of it. Again, same thing. We can come pick a particular product, let's say Defender for Endpoint, and now I can come in and I can know exactly who I can run a campaign to cross-sell, upsell our services for Defender for Endpoint or any other product that we might have here. So let's take a look at some more. So we've gone through earnings and incentives, we've gone through EMS, we've gone through Microsoft 365, security, and so forth. Let's take a look at the internal use rights. So in the internal use rights, sometimes it can be hard to understand, well, what is it that we get with our solution designations and specializations? Or if I really want to go get more Copilot licenses or whatever it might be, it's not the easiest thing to figure out. So we've tried to solve this for you. So here we can say, well, let's say that we have a solution designation and we've got the modern work solution designation specifically. So now we can see, I'm going to go ahead and do the regular view here, and I can see, okay, I've got all of these different licenses and I can sort this. top to bottom and see, okay, what do I get the most of? And I can see here, okay, so I've got 100 licenses of these different products. I've got 200 licenses of E5. I've got 225 licenses of enterprise. And then I can look and I can say, okay, well, what am I looking for? Well, here I can even look for the cloud services. Here are my cloud services. What are my marketing benefits? This is everything that I get. Now, if I say, well, what happens if I add security? Well, if I add security, now I get more licenses. And so now I can look more at what we're getting here. Now I can see, okay, I've got my Copilot licenses here, and we can see that I'm getting my Copilot just for modern work. So when I added security, I don't get anything more. Now, if I go down and I look at my Microsoft 365, I'll see that I get 200 licenses for modern work, but I get another 100 licenses for security. So this is great. Now, what happens if I go down here and I get a security specialization and a modern work specialization? Well, now I just added more. You can see my specialization just popped up for my E5. I got 50 more licenses for modern work and 50 more licenses for security. I also have more things that popped up on my dashboard here. And so it just makes it a little bit easier. Now, if I said, okay, well, let's just clear all this out. And what I really want to do is I want to figure out, like, how do I get my Copilot licenses? What are the things that I have to achieve? And I can see here, these are the 22 licenses that are available to me. I can get 5 for modern work. I can get 5 each for each of the modern work specializations. And then if I get the partner success expanded benefits, I can add another 2. So if I'm a brand new partner and I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I get if I just do, let me clear this out here. If I just do the partner launch benefits, well, here's what I get. If I want to add the expanded benefits, or if I just want the expanded benefits, now I know exactly what I can get. And then I can say, okay, well, what happens when I get the modern work solution designation? Here's what I receive. So we're trying to make it a lot easier for you to understand exactly what you get with each solution designation, with specializations, and then help you to keep track of it. Then when you're going in and you're doing your different claims and so forth, you're doing your 𝗲𝗄𝗄 claims, so you can see those licenses within modern work and Dynamics. We've even added in a Copilot agent here. And with this Copilot agent, we can do all kinds of things with our Copilot agent, where one particular thing is looking up tenant IDs. So I mentioned sometimes this can be a little bit difficult, but what we've done is we've said, hey, we've built this into the Copilot agent. So what is the tenant ID for the partnermasters.com and Microsoft.com? So you can put in as many as you like in here, and what the tool will do, it'll go to the Microsoft Graph, it'll pull back the information for you to make this a very simple task. Instead of having to spend 5 or 10 minutes to go look up tenant IDs, now you've got it right at your fingertips, and I can go do my 𝗲𝗄𝗄 claims. So let's go back and let's take a look again. So we looked through the solution designations and specializations. We looked through the skilling and certifications and how you can manage those. We looked at the security ACR and how you should have 8% of your Azure being on security. We looked through Microsoft 365 and EMS by workloads, and then we saw how we can upsell, cross-sell, and drive more services revenue. We looked at the payouts from Microsoft, the co-op. We looked at the incentive programs and funding. We made that really easy for you to see in one single dashboard. We looked at how you can find your tenant IDs for doing your 𝗲𝗄𝗄 claims, and then we looked at your internal use rights and how you can do that. All of that is available to you at the Partner Command Center from the Partner Masters. We'll put a link up on the screen for you. It's a free resource for you to join, so you can start getting into some of the education programs. There is an upgrade if you'd like to do some of the reporting, but we wanted to show this to you to see exactly what you can get from all the data that comes to you from Partner Center, and exactly what you could do with it, or what you can use whenever you're using our Partner Command Center. Hey, we look forward to seeing you at Ignite. Our booth is right next to the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. If you'd like to come take a look and talk to us about what we've built out here. But thank you so much for coming and visiting us, and we look forward to partnering with you very soon.